good opening pair, Tendulkar and Ganguly. I think they've done well in this tournament so far. Ganguly's been in excellent touch. Hasn't quite made the big one or played the big strokes as Tendulkar has. He made 100 in one of the games. Azharuddin, Jadeja, Laxman, Kanitka, and Mongia, Kumble, Prasad, and the quick bowler Harvinder Singh, Harbhajan Singh. How do you like that, Sonny?
Well, I would have preferred them to have included Navjot Singh Sidhu in place of Harvinder Singh, and used Waugh, Ganguly, Sachin Tendulkar and Jadeja to do a bit of bowling.
They're on their way now. Just outside that off stump. Yes, that fieldsman quite square down there. We do know that Gilchrist, when the short bowlers bowl to him, likes to try and heave it away for 6 square of the wicket. Now they've got that cut off, so you might just find Gilchrist trying to play it a little bit finer. That's a wide delivery. I know the Australians are off the mark. It's well played, nicely steered away just to the left hand there of the fieldsman. That's one of the great attributes of Mark Waugh. Just gets it away, just far enough away from the fieldsman to be able to pick up those runs, and that really does make a difference to the overall strike rate.
And for the team chasing, even if it's a modest target of 220, it's not going to be easy.
Now this was almost a repeat of Mark Waugh's dismissal in the last match. He was run out going for a quick one to the right hand of the mid-off fieldsman. Kumble picked it up and threw the stumps down. It was a brilliant bit of work. A little bit more of that, or a repeat of that sort of fielding. Go down well here today for India. Well played. Off the stumps. He's whipped that one away on the onside. Back for 2. Almost exactly the same shot into the gap on the onside. More well played. He's got that one away. He plays that shot very well. You can't give him any room. Gilchrist is a very good cutter of the ball. So that's the end of the over. 10 runs from that over. Good one for Australia. 14 for none. Oh, that's close. Well, I tell you, I thought that was a little bit closer than the Indian players did. Perhaps there was a bit of bat. No, there wasn't bat. It's his signalling leg buys. Perhaps he got outside the line. Or did it nip back a long way? It must have done something, because there wasn't really a huge appeal.
Yes, I think the appeal really came from the wicketkeeper and the bowler. Yes, the ball would have gone down the leg side.
Over the top, just over the top. Didn't quite middle that one, but that's his job. He's got to go over the top every now and again. Will he come back for the 3rd? No, settling for 2. That's well fielded. Yes, he normally gets a bit more bat on those straight drives. Gilchrist that time going for the big one. He's got to take the pressure off Mark Waugh. Didn't quite middle it, just went over the top of mid-off's head.
Well, that's a tribute to the Indian bowling, particularly Harvinder Singh, who bowled a good first over. He's kept them in check over here, forcing Gilchrist to take the risk.
I think that rather verifies Sonny's point about the slower pitch. When it doesn't come onto the bat, it's not quite so easy to smash down the ground for 6. Oh, he's going for that one down the leg side. He's got him. Yes, he's a little hit. He's nicked that one. Well, it must have been a huge nick, because the bowler didn't respond in any fashion at all. Gilchrist, trying to play that shot he plays so well, has nicked one through to the wicketkeeper, and this is good news for India.
Yes, it is. They were looking for an early breakthrough. They've got this through Harvinder Singh. This was short. Gilchrist's eyes must have lit up, because this is the shot he plays so well, the square cut. Unfortunately for him, the ball bounced just a little bit more than he expected. He's edged the catch to Mongia behind the wickets, and Australia has 17 for 1.
Ricky Ponting is the new batsman. That's well done. He really is good at that. He just drops the ball pretty dead in front of him and then takes off. And absolutely no one's going to get to it, because the field are back looking to save the ones and the fours, but they can't come in quickly enough. Have a look at how he just knocks it down there. Looks up and his partner's on his way. So Ponting off the mark, and he's got that one wide of the fieldsman at backward point. 31 for 1. 7 overs have been bowled so far. Mark Waugh and Ricky Ponting together in the centre, and together in the commentary box it's going to be Richie Benaud and Ravi Shastri.
Nicely timed by Ponting. Just get a single for it. There hasn't been much movement in the air for the bowlers. The batsman can hit through the line. Gilchrist would have been very disappointed with the way he was dismissed. And good afternoon to Richie Benaud.
Afternoon, Ravi. Afternoon, everyone. Yes, indeed, it is a crucial one. The Australians are already in the final. Waugh has underlined a couple of times today already how important it is for them to keep on what he termed a roll. They're certainly on that at the moment. Sachin Tendulkar and Laxman, two of the men in the Indian side. Man down there on the fence, but he needs to be 20 feet tall.
A terrific shot that by Mark Waugh. It's all class and timing. Just picked this one up and hoisted it over square leg. Venkatesh Prasad is just a spectator. And again, he's taken the aerial route with success. This is turning out to be a very expensive over for Harvinder Singh. Great over for Australia. Venkatesh Prasad will continue. Ricky Ponting is the man on strike. He's found the gap again. This is another boundary, so Australia at the moment dealing in boundaries.
That is a cracking stroke. It's a little roll of the wrist just as ball was meeting bat. It looked as though he was going to hit it through extra cover. In fact, it went just past the right hand of point, 3 or 4 yards. Yes, that really is a lovely stroke.
So you can see that Tour of India has taught Ricky Ponting quite a lot. Oh, that's a lovely shot. That's an even better shot. You saw Mark Waugh play a similar shot in the last over of Harvinder Singh. Ricky Ponting has done exactly that. Wait for the umpire signal. We reckon it's 6.
The umpire's signalling 4, but I think he'd be wise to have another look. Just a little look, nothing too exciting about it, but just to see where the ball pitches. We might have to wait a little bit for the final adjudication. Got the rope. Yep.
The Australians now motoring along. Got up to 50 with that boundary. Just that slight hesitation when he picked up the ball, Kanetkar. If he'd released it straight away, then we might have had a close call.
Might have had a broken ankle too. Harbhajan Singh has decided that he's going to try and trap it like a soccer player.
Well, he's given him the charge and it's gone into the crowd. Again, beautiful timing, good use of the feet by Mark Waugh. 50-run partnership coming up with that 6.
1-all for a moment. I thought Ravi Shastri's catching ability in retirement was going to be called into question there. That has landed not all that far short of the commentary box.
The Australians are off to a terrific start. This is Mark Waugh's second six of this innings. And down the track again. This is glorious stuff. He adjusted beautifully there and found the gap on the offside.
They've both played some beautiful strokes this afternoon in Sharjah time, but nothing better than that. Wonderful little adjustment there. Picked it as the top spinner and hit it away through extra cover.
Harbhajan Singh now into his second over. He went for 12 in his first.
That little shot of Ricky Ponting's again, where he starts to play across to the onside, turns the bat and finishes up with the leading edge pointing towards the bowler. Seen it a number of times in Australia and over here as well. Unusual little facet of his batting.
That's put away. Enough time to rock back on that back foot. And another boundary for Ricky Ponting. And he goes for the big one, and he struck it cleanly. This is a big six.
There's a challenge for Mark Waugh. Mark Waugh's hit on top of the railing just below us. Ricky Ponting's went another 6 metres.
Right into those hospitality boxes. That's where the ball was a little while ago. Third six of the tournament for Ricky Ponting. That's where the ball went. That was a big hit from Ponting. Oh, that's beautifully bowled. Good comeback by the young man. The Indian team really excited now. This is a good wicket. So Damien Martin comes out to the middle. The fall of Ricky Ponting's wicket. It's Mark Waugh on strike. Martin will get his turn now.
A couple of things with this dismissal. First of all, it was well bowled. It stranded Ponting. Mongia has taken the bails off well before Ponting can get his bat back. Now then, Harbhajan Singh. Oh, hello. Well, what was the bowler doing shouting at the batsman like that?
Well, there's no need to shout because the batsman was anyway walking back to the pavilion. I guess Harbhajan Singh was just taking out the frustration of being a little expensive in those 2 overs. Not a very sensible thing to do. I guess he'll learn as he grows older. And will have to learn quickly.
Damien Martin, you can't really say he's promoted because he opened the innings yesterday with Bevan and Lehmann, but he's up from his normal middle order position.
That's a clean-up job. That's beautifully bowled. Damien Martin had no answer to that one. And Anil Kumble has struck here again for India.
He's India's best bowler. In combination with the chap who's not playing, Javagal Srinath, they're very powerful, and he has done a wonderful job here in zipping that top spinner through. A bit of bounce as well. Wonderful ball, hit the top of the stumps. Martin has gone, and Kumble has struck. Martin out for one, and it's 87 for 3, a very unlucky number for Australia.
So Michael Bevan comes out to the middle, and the Indians bouncing back well here with wickets in consecutive overs. Anil Kumble took the last man, Damien Martin, and this man has a very, very impressive record. In the commentary box now, Ian Chappell and Sunil Gavaskar.
Thank you very much, Ravi. Yes, a quick change coming over the game there. Australia were on the rampage with Ponting and Mark Waugh going at full steam ahead. Ponting out, and then quickly followed by Damien Martin, not picking the quicker one at all. It went right through him. So a wicket to Harbhajan Singh, and then one to Kumble in the next over. Put a different complexion on this game. .87 coming in the first 15 overs. Michael Bevan just indicating to the umpire by touching the stump which one he wanted. Obviously a fair bit of noise out there in the middle. Big crowd here. And Sonny, India badly needing those 2 wickets.
Yes, Ian, I think the blazing start that the Australians had got off to would have made the Indians a little bit worried. They needed some wickets, and they needed the wickets in a hurry, and they got that with the wickets of Ponting and Damien Martin. And it certainly has perked them up. You can see from the way they are now moving about in the field. When Mark Waugh and Ricky Ponting were hitting those big sixes, you could see that there was just a little drop of their heads. They were just getting resigned to the Australians putting up a big score. Those 2 wickets have certainly brought them back into the game.
One of the problems for India, neither of their opening bowlers are bowling with a lot of confidence at the moment. That really got Mark Waugh and Ricky Ponting going, got them into a stroke playing mood, and they just followed on from there with the spinners. Not so much Kumble, they haven't got after him, but certainly Harbhajan. I think Pritesh Prasad, I think there's still a bit of a mental block there with him coming back from that shoulder injury. Arvinder misfielding, and he boots it to the boundary. That's the 100 up for Australia.
It's come in pretty quick time, but at the same time the Australians have lost 3 wickets. That should be a thing that the Indians must remember, that they've got Australia down 3 wickets, so they need to get a couple more wickets very quickly if they hope to restrict Australia to less than 200. Got 2 men in form there. Michael Bevan's been a key player for Australia in one-day cricket over a number of years now. Doing the job very well over here in Sharjah too.
Well, that's hit very hard and into the gap. It's 107 for 3. That struck very straight and very firmly.
It's the early part of the over, and so Azharuddin's got 5 fielders in the circle. And Michael Bevan has tried to take advantage of that by hitting it over the top. He's successful in hitting it over the top of mid-on. One doesn't often see him play the lofted shot so early in the innings. He's more content to work the ones and the twos, run hard between wickets. The boundaries he looks for later.
Well, fine leg's just been brought up. That's very clever cricket.
It is very clever cricket, but it is not so clever bowling. Ganguly should have realized that once that fielder was brought in the circle, that he should have been concentrating on Michael Bevan's middle and off stump. Instead, he's bowled it outside the leg stump, allowing Michael Bevan to help himself to another boundary.
Now fine leg goes back and mid-off comes up into the circle. We'll try that plan. Looking for two. Mark Waugh decides against it. I think the other thing that'll please you, Sonny, is that the other reason why Max likes Inzamam Al-Haq is the way he conserves energy while he's playing cricket.
Well, then Max, my man as well. Yes, you've got to conserve energy for the big stuff later on. There's no point tiring yourself out earlier on. Arjuna Ranatunga, master at that.
Tell you what, I think he learnt from Inzamam. It's 126 for 3.
Fox Sports, in conjunction with Blazed in Glory, gives you the chance to win a
Mark Waugh 71, Bevan 31, 2 for 3. Anetka here continuing. He's a good fielder of his own bowling. He's taken some fine return catches recently.
Again, pretty straight. That's the way to bowl.
And that's a very fine shot by Michael Bevan. He said he's good, square of the wicket on the offside. The moment he got an opportunity to play the cut shot, he did that in style.
Tendulkar making the mistake here of giving him some width. It was reasonably full, but just wide enough for Bevan to make room for himself. You get outside the line of the stumps and the batsman really has got a free hit, and that's what happened on this occasion. He is very, very strong there.
Hey. Well, he's picked the spot again. A diving effort by Kumble on the boundary there, but his effort was in vain. Every now and then he picks up the ones and twos and then suddenly hits a boundary, Mark Waugh. So still 19 overs remaining. Australia in a good position here with 7 wickets in hand. Going along nicely at this stage. Mark Waugh on 81 and Michael Bevan on 43. The change now in the commentary box. It'll be Richie Benaud and Sunil Gavaskar.
Thanks, Ravi. The man very much in charge out there again is Michael Bevan. Gosh, he's effective. 43 from 49 balls today. He's hit 4 boundaries, which is, I won't say it's unusual for him, but he hasn't hit too many in the tournament so far. But he's been a star. Good afternoon, Sunil.
Good afternoon, Richie. Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, he's been a star, as has been Sachin Tendulkar in this tournament. He's shown that he can turn the ball a long way, bowling his leg spinners. Bowled a very impressive spell the other day. And Mohammad Azharuddin has turned to him because his irregular bowlers haven't quite given him the kind of wickets that he wanted.
There's a few things we know about Tendulkar, the bowler. One is that he doesn't bowl much. the second very much is that he's got a lot of ability. There's that first ball. He's just run up and bowled it in a pressure situation. Not quite landed on the spot, but it spun sharply, more sharply than anything we've seen from a spinner so far today. Around there was because anticipation that it had gone straight to Azhar. Got him. Mark Waugh has gone. Tendulkar has done it. That is a priceless wicket, I tell you.
Well, the crowd expects miracles from him when he's batting. They expect magic from him when he's batting. But he's done the magic trick here again for India. Getting no less a batsman than Mark Waugh when he's batting so well, looking for 100. Getting him to slice a catch to backward point. That's the breakthrough that India wanted. Australia now 177 for 4.
Steve Waugh, the Australian captain, new man at the crease, taking his brother's place. He'll have strike to Tendulkar. Will he pick him? He's got the first one away okay.
Difficult to get the leg spinner on target for regular leg spinners, but Tendulkar's done that right from the first ball. Simple catch to Ganguly there. Mark Waugh trying to slice it over extra cover. That's a big wicket for India.
Single off the last ball, the full toss. And 32 overs gone. It's 179 for 4. And the occasional loose one.
He must have utilized the opportunity of picking up one or two things from Shane Warne when he had those long innings against him in the test matches. Definitely will be putting them into practice, the flipper.
It's a wonderful stroke from Steve Waugh. He's got a man in at short cover, he's got a man at long off fairly wide, and he's got a man at deep cover, and he's still split the three of them. It's 189 for 4.
The rate at which they're going, score of 270 is a possibility. That's Bevan's 50. Yet another useful innings from the left-hander. He's got 4 boundaries in that. That's a bit unusual because he normally looks to hit boundaries in the last few overs.
When Ricky Ponting was dismissed, there was an incident there with the bowler rushing at Ponting and shouting at him, which seemed to me to be extremely unusual. Ponting gave him a mouthful back. I would imagine that'll be something for the match referee to think about. Yeah. Not sensible of Ponting to respond to it, but what was the bowler doing? That's being asked for by umpire Steve Buckner. A direct hit looked to me to be out, but we'll have to wait on the photo finish.
Well, we've just been talking about how the Indians and the cricket supporters expect magic from Tendulkar with the bat. And when he's bowling now as a fielder, he's worked his magic again. What a throw. From the deep mid-wicket boundary, he picked it up and hit the stump directly. That's an outstanding piece of fielding. Australia have lost their captain.
197 for 5. Azharuddin Singh to bowl to Darren Lehmann, left-hander. Wonderful piece of fielding. There wasn't much in it. Michael Bevan's made 54 from 64 balls. Five down now. More hope for India. Well, that's the over. 198 for 5. We'll give you another look at the Steve Waugh run out now. Very, very close.
Tendulkar picking it with one hand and throwing it at the stumps. It had to be a direct hit for Steve Waugh to be run out, and it was, because Mongia would have had a hard time to drag it and get the bails off. It had to be a direct thing. It was such a close thing. And Tendulkar scored a direct one, finding the Australian captain way short of his crease. Getting the ball to dip, Tendulkar. You can see that the ball is dipping sharply.
200 up for Australia, and this game is looming as being a wonderful contest.
Tendulkar to bowl his 5th over, 1 for 18 his figures. Lehmann handles the ball, spinning into him extremely well.
Tendulkar's spell has been quite important in the context of the game. He's in his 5th over, 1 for 19, but he's also contributed with a run out.
That's very well placed by Michael Bevan.
Full toss, and Michael Bevan playing it pretty much with the straight bat. Rarely gets into the cross bat shots unless it's square of the wicket, the offside. Everything else he tends to play with the straight bat, and this occasion timing and placement impeccable.
That's very well played again. Azharuddin is quite square, and he made sure he hit the sweep shot fine. It's 217 for 5. Azharuddin seemed to continue. 7 overs for 50. Lehmann calling quickly.
Shows how difficult it is for the wicketkeeper. This is a throw at the stumps, very close to the stumps, but wicketkeepers can finish up with broken fingers with those sort of throws. Mongia just indicating there that it would have been better to throw the ball on the full to him at the double chance then.
There's that sweep shot from Darren Lehmann, and he's got it perfectly into the gap.
Well, that's what he's been thinking about doing for a while. Nearly got him into trouble earlier on, but on this occasion he's picked the right ball and he's got it right in the middle.
reverse sweep attempted there by Darren Lehmann to a wide.
Well, it's a fair indication that a batsman's batting by numbers when he wants to employ this shot. Again, he's probably picked the right ball, the one that's outside off stump, but I think you've got the wrong things going through your head when you're trying to think about playing that shot in advance.
This time he's got it properly. Harvinder will pull it back.
If you're going to play that shot, there's no reason why you can't play the late cut just as effectively and perhaps even more effectively. But looks good. Doesn't look so good if you get out. Just ask Mike Gatting.
This time he does employ the more orthodox cut shot and plays it very well. That's a much better cricket shot.
Well, that's the late cut. The back cut really on this occasion through the gap between the two fielders. Pretty good over for the Australians, and Azharuddin is having some problems in his 8th over, 1 for 62.
Darren Lehmann getting himself into a tangle really is silly cricket. He's a much better player than that. He doesn't need to resort to such lunacy.
Well, I think the less said about it, the better.
Well, we've seen a good batting exhibition once again from Australia. They're a very confident team at the moment. That long batting lineup is working well for them. All players coming in and attacking the bowling right from the outset. Kumble's really been about the only bowler to have any great effect in slowing them down. Nicely struck by Michael Bevan. Good timer of the ball.
Bevan's in fantastic form, playing at the height of his confidence, and you give him any room outside the off stump in this area and you're asking for trouble. Well, the Kangaroos mightn't be able to play, but the Australian team can.
Once again, very crafty, just using the bowler's pace.
Well, I hope Darren Lehmann was watching. That's the alternative to the reverse sweep.
Brings up the 50 partnership. That's his highest score against India. 248 for 5.
That's the situation on the group table at the moment. The Australians comfortably qualified for the final. India and New Zealand running neck and neck on 2 points, and the net run rate will be the deciding factor if India can't win this game tonight. If they're going to be chasing a score of around 300, they're going to be under a lot of pressure. They do have the backup that if they don't win it, at least if they can get close, that'll probably get them through to the final, but they won't want to be relying on that. They need some wickets, and they need to restrict the Australians to around the 270 mark. Give themselves a real chance.
A That one was hit hard at Ganguly. He did well to block it.
Lehmann's such a good striker of the ball. He's just as good a striker as Bevan. Play a similar game to Bevan. He does get himself in a tangle at times when he fiddles around with shots that are probably a bit harder to play than the orthodox.
Avinder Singh at third man. If somehow or other India were able to restrict Australia to 270, the only way they're going to do it is taking wickets, then they'd have to make a round about Australia's score at the moment, 250, to be sure of a spot in the final. At 250 coming at the rate of 5.63 per over.
Ganguly, Tendulkar and Azharuddin are really going to have to play well.
Silly. He really does throw his wicket away far too often for a good player, Darren Lehmann.
Well, when you start predicting what the bowler might bowl, you're really running the odds, because bowlers generally don't bowl the ball where you want it. Darren Lehmann takes the chance on this occasion that it's going to be around leg stump. In fact, it was right on middle stump. And unfortunately for Australia, Darren Lehmann has gone for 26. Prasad picks up the wicket, 250 for 6.
Tom Moody, who played so well for Australia in their victory over New Zealand last night, coming in at number 8. Has a best score of 89 against Pakistan in Brisbane. He's had a bit of a resurgence in his career. Originally selected as a batsman when he first played for Australia, but now he's more of a bowler.
Yes, he won't be wasting any time. We've already seen Moody hit some big sixes. That six he hit yesterday out of the ground, boy, that was the biggest six of the day. Back up to the second. In comes the throw. It's just a little wide. Moody having to weave out of the way as that one went whistling past the umpire.
Brings us a smile on his face. That was pretty close. Have a look at Buckner here. He's been a football referee in his time as well.
Well bowled. Just try to close the face on that one. Doesn't look all that confident against Kumble. Really is the standout bowler in this Indian lineup at the moment. Gets the feeling really that unless he really does strike, India are going to have a problem on their hands. Back for the second again. In comes the throw again, quite close, right alongside the bails. Tendulkar's always there and thereabout.
Yes, he's already inflicted a terrific run out. Fantastic throw to run out Steve Waugh. And again, getting rid of the ball very quickly, but the batsman comfortably home this time.
Right, the Australians here are looking for a victory. They've won 5 in a row, which is a good performance. Well, good shot, wonderful straight drive, right off the meat of the bat. And because mid-off and mid-on are wide, absolutely no chance of cutting that off.
Yes, that really rocketed off the bat from Michael Bevan. He couldn't have placed it better. There was a long on, there was a long off, and look where he hits it. Straight down the ground. No chance for either of those fielders. He moves into the 90s now.
Yes, with a strike rate of bang on 100. 93 of 93 balls. Oh, and very close to the outside edge there. That would have really upset him if he'd got a little feathery nick on that one through to the keeper. And of course, Mongia wide awake there too. Try to actually run him out. Let's see if he was out of his ground. Yes, he was, quite a long way. Mongia had a little flick of the stumps, but Bevan was wide awake. Bevan on 94, Moody 4, and they're now running out of overs. So this is going to be quite exciting. 2 overs to go. The bat will be swinging now. Bevan will be looking for 100. Moody for 6s. He's got that one away down to deep, wide, long on, just one. So Bevan's on strike. And the crowd here have watched a good innings, and you can hear there's a little bit of cheering going on. I want him to finish it off with a big one.
Yes, he deserves 100. He's played quite beautifully here. Spaced his innings so well. And he's got an opportunity here. He's on strike.
It's interesting, Bevan, when he gets into this situation, doesn't look quite as comfortable as when he's just quietly picking up the singles and hitting the odd four. They're not happy with his gloves. He's going to change them. They're probably a little bit damp. So he's clearly a specialist in the middle of a one-day game. He struggles a little bit to hit the big ones at the end. Moody doesn't, but he's hit it straight down mid-wicket's throat. Well, that's it. He had to go. They just got bogged down a little bit. And Tom Moody trying to smash that one down the ground towards mid-wicket. Really a bit edgy, the shot, and it went straight to Mohammad Azharuddin, and he doesn't drop many.
Yes, just dragging this one. His first intention was to hit straight down the ground, but the ball just didn't come onto the bat. Ended up dragging it to Mohammad Azharuddin at mid-wicket. He's as safe a fielder as you can get. So Moody perishes in trying to accelerate the run rate. He's out for 5. Australia 271 for 7.
Shane Warne, he won't be wasting any time, and he's got a single, so he's given it to Bevan right away. Right now it's up to Bevan. There's just one ball to go in this over, and then one more over. Let's have a quick look at the Moody dismissal again. He was trying to hit it down the ground, just dragged it away to Mohammad Azharuddin, who's got himself perfectly placed just inside the line there. You can see just going back a little bit, and catches it, no trouble at all. That was the end of Moody. One feels sorry for some of the lower end players. They've just got to come in and throw the bat. Righto, Bevan. Oh, he really just struggles, doesn't he, with all this. He should play his normal game. That's the end of the over. 272 for 7. So the last over now, 272 for 7. Michael Bevan on 95, but he's at the non-strikers end. Shane Warne has got no option here. He has got to try and hit sixes. They've got 3 batsmen to come, so I suspect Shane Warne will be going for it. Yes, he is. Whacks it down the ground. Bevan quite happy to take a single there. So this gives him a chance to get his 3rd one-day international century now.
He's just lost a bit of touch in the last couple of overs, and largely due to the fact that Prasad has bowled well. He's mixed things up. But now this is his opportunity to reach 100. This is the last over of the innings. 5 balls remaining. Michael Bevan on 95.
He's glancing to mid-wicket. He was looking for 2, but he'll only get 1. That's it. I reckon he'd be better off doing what he did a little while ago, hitting it straight down the ground, straight over the top of the bowler's head. So he's on 96. He only needs a 4 now, but he's at the wrong end. Warne once again will have a go. So they're going to have a little discussion now. I think the discussion should have been, you just go for it, mate. Do the best you can. Let's get as many as we can. Don't worry about me in singles. Oh, he's hit that well. That's going for 4. It's going to beat the fieldsman at extra cover. Well played. That's the area he loves. Bowl it outside off stump to him. He's very comfortable.
Yes, he's picked his spot here to perfection. Just giving himself a little bit of room and crashing that one over cover. By giving himself the room, he got the width he wanted, could free his arms, and Shane Warne will be very happy with that boundary.
Yes, as he walked down the pitch, Shane Warne said, sorry, mate, to Bevan. I think perhaps they are trying to give him the strike. Right, they'll get 1 here. So Bevan now will have a go. Wait. So he's got 2 balls to get his century. He's had plenty of opportunities, but he just keeps mishitting them. Now, if he mishits one here, he's going to get a single, and then Warne will have to finish off, and he'll end up undefeated on 97. Just watch Warne here. He walked past him, and he looked up at him and said, sorry, mate. There we are. Now, 2 balls to go. Can Bevan get 100? He's on 96 not out. He's played beautifully. He's hit it square. It's going down towards the boundary. It's gone for 4. Well played, Michael Bevan. That's his 3rd one-day 100. He's first against India. And it's the second by an Australian batsman in Saja.
Well, a terrific performance by Michael Bevan. He has to be one of the best players in the world batting at that number. It's not easy to get hundreds when you bat at number 5 or 6. But he's a very, very consistent run getter for Australia. 100 of just 102 balls, 9 boundaries punctuating that knock.
Last ball of the innings. Smashed away on the offside, and so he ends up with 101 not out. And I suspect the Australians will be pretty satisfied with this performance with the bat. To score all those runs on a slowish wicket's a good effort.
Yes, what this total has done is that it's put immense pressure on the Indians. To qualify for the final, they need to get at least 255. And that's not going to be easy because they'll have to score at over 5 runs per over from the very beginning. But a standing ovation here for Michael Bevan. And all these applause, well deserved. They realize that, and one thing that should comfort them is that the pitch is a good one. The ball is coming onto the bat. It's not as slow as some of the other pitches we've seen in the tournament, and that's why I feel the Indians do have a chance. But Tendulkar, I think, is the key.
What do you reckon will be the plan of campaign? Will Tendulkar go at it as he has been in all the matches, or will he try to play a sheet anchor job today?
Well, just seeing the way he's been playing of late, I think he starts off in a hurry. He's looking for the boundaries. He doesn't mind taking the aerial route. But then after about 8 or 10 overs, he settles down, picks up the 1s and 2s, tries to work the ball into the gaps, and then goes on to play a long innings. But I think one of the top 3 will have to get 100 here.
I've been very impressed with the way Ganguly has batted in the last couple of times I've seen him. In fact, if anything, he's managed to keep up with Tendulkar, which is going some.
Well, that's a great compliment for him, and they complement each other extremely well, both these batsmen. He's the left-hander, Tendulkar is the right-hander. And the thing about Ganguly is that he's a lovely timer of the ball, and off late he's been really finding the gaps, and he gets a lot of boundaries.
Big crowd in now. They've all come in after work. The lights are on, and India has a chance to move into the finals of this Coca-Cola Cup. To take you through the first section of play in the second part of the match, Ian Chappell awaits us in the commentary box. Alongside him is Sunu Gavaskar.
Thank you very much, Richie. Ganguly to take strike. It's going to be Damien Fleming, who come from the Sharjah club end. Fleming has been in very good form. He'll be rested. He missed the game against New Zealand. Ganguly with a century against New Zealand, but a single-figure score against Australia. Tendulkar at the non-strikers end. Another great player. He was a great batsman, whether it be Test cricket or one-day internationals. Viv Richards, Sonny, he used to come out a lot of times and he goes smack, bang, crash, wallop, and you'd think in the field we've got a chance of getting this guy out. For the first 20 runs he'd hit the ball in the air and he'd play a lot of shots, and you'd think we've got a chance with this guy, and then suddenly he'd just settle down, and well, then you knew you didn't have much chance. I'm just wondering, with what Ravi was saying, what sort of approach do you think Sachin will take tonight?
Well, I think Sachin, knowing him, will be looking to get 284. He won't be looking at 254.
Ganguly off the mark immediately. Could be that he's the sheet anchor man, and Sachin will be looking to push it on.
Yes, I think he's a very, very positive thinking cricketer, Sachin Tendulkar. So right now, even in the dressing room, as he must have been putting on his pads, he mustn't have been thinking in terms of getting India to a score of 254. What he would be thinking is, how am I going to get India to a score past 284? and that's a very positive thing. So I think he knows that it's a big score that he's got to get, and therefore he might just start to bang straight away. Now that is where the Australians have a chance, because the ball is moving. We've seen the ball move. Fleming gets the ball to move earlier on, so that is going to be a crucial period.
Yes, it's a reasonable approach, isn't it? Because that's why you play the game. You play the game to win, not to just sneak into the finals through the back door.
Exactly right. I think that's what Sachin Tendulkar has always played for, to win, and win in a positive manner, win in as emphatic a manner as possible. So I think he will be really looking to get his side off to a good start. Whether he's going to use the first few deliveries as sighters and then start hitting, it really depends on what he gets in the first few overs. He'll be quite happy to get his legs moving with quick ones and twos. It's so essential that when you come in after a break of 45 minutes, when you've been in probably air-conditioned dressing rooms, to be able to come out there, and when you come out into this heat, to get those legs moving. The legs can be just a little bit stiff.
The other thing about taking that positive approach and trying to win the game, if India do win the game, obviously they then go into the final, but they go into the final with a bit of a psychological, well, if not a psychological advantage, at least they're psychologically up. Whereas if they get into the final through the back door, that's really not going to do much for their mental state.
That is absolutely right. I think if they get past 284, they will be really on a high. They'll just get the feeling that whatever Australia score then in the finals, will still be able to make it. So it's very important, this game, not only for India just to qualify, but basically to try and get their morale up.
Tendulkar will be annoyed with himself for missing that. A great opportunity for the square cut. Now that one's gone above the shoulder. It was a pretty well-directed bouncer from Fleming. I think he was quite happy to concede the single for the no ball.
Well, when you have a score of 284 backing you, then you don't mind conceding the odd no ball. But at least what it has made is it's made Sachin Tendulkar think twice. He was coming onto the front foot even before the ball had been delivered. Now he'll think twice.
No fine leg. That's away for 4. It's only just going to trickle there. And Michael Kastrovic didn't chase hard. I think he realised it was just going to get there. Umpire's not sure that it has reached. And Kastrovic saying that it pulled up just short. So it's only what they ran. Well, Michael Kastrovic is a very honest cricketer, and he's certainly not going to tell any pork pies to the umpire. So it's what they ran. 5 without loss. And Michael Kastrovic, having strolled around and picked that ball up, he's now going to have a bowl. And if India miss out on the finals by just a couple of runs, there's a couple of batsmen who should be kicking themselves, because you should always run hard. What happened there was they thought it was going for 4, as did Kastrovic. They finished up only getting 1 run for it.
Well, Chappelli, they were conserving energy at the wrong time.
Yes, that's not the time to be conserving energy, especially if you're the bloke that's hit it.
Yes, I would have expected them to at least go for 2, even if the ball was trickling to the boundary, because that's what you normally do in any case. Get back to your ends, the striker's end and the non-striker's end.
Just a little bit of outswing there for Michael Kastrovic. This looks to be a pretty good pitch. Ball seems to be coming on quite well.
Yes, the covers were not taken off till well past noon around 12:45 or 1. That's when the covers were taken off. So the sun hasn't been beating on it as it has been on other days.
Very sweet timer of the ball, Sachin Tendulkar. That last ball of Damien Fleming's over was played down by Tendulkar. The fine leg is up. He's sort of in a short fine leg position, and Tendulkar just walking. In fact, he's really conserving energy there, thinking that it's going to go for 4, but it stops. See, Kasevich was also just strolling. Nicely into the gap. It won't go for 4.
Well, this time they won't make the mistake of strolling. They were looking for the extra run. Tendulkar, after a couple of dot balls, getting just a little bit anxious. Kasparov has given him the odd uncertain moment in the test matches in India, as well as in the one-day matches that followed.
No ball is the call. It was interesting that Damien Fleming bowled the short pitch delivery to Sachin Tendulkar. That was a tactic that Australia used in the final in Delhi. They'd been hammered by India in the games leading up to that final. They obviously sat down and had a talk about what they were going to do in the final, and they came up with this different tactic, bowled a few short pitch deliveries. And just as a bit of a reminder, Damien Fleming snuck one past the left ear of Sachin Tendulkar in the first over, just to remind him, don't get onto the front foot too quickly.
There is a fielder there at deep square leg for the lofted hook shot. The fielder is in the circle at fine leg. So the bowlers have to be very accurate pitching on the leg stump, because Tendulkar plays the leg lance well.
Eight without loss. Well, the fans are working overtime in the stand in the pavilion. Has cooled down a bit. It's been a very warm day.
Required rate 5.79 per over, and the Indians will have to work hard. They won't get too many boundaries, so it'll mean a lot of running between the wickets. An area where the Indians know that they have scope for improvement.
Yes, with a little bit of dew around, that'll slow the outfield up just a touch, which also counts against India. Already seen that leg by pull up just short of the boundary rope. Ganguly has been quite watchful so far, just getting his eye in. At third man.
Watchful opening there by the Indian batsman. They're chasing a daunting score, 284. Looking to get off to a good start.
Very close to getting an edge on that one. I guess India do have a bit of form in regard to chasing big scores. I think they won a tournament recently with a score of 314 to win.
Yes, that too in light, which wasn't really good to play cricket in. They chased 314 against Pakistan in the finals in Bangladesh. That also was the Coca-Cola Cup.
India 9 without loss. 2 to Ganguly, 4 to Tendulkar. India chasing 285 for victory, 254 to qualify for the final. Kaspovic to bowl the 4th over from the pavilion end. Ganguly taking guard. 1 slip, and then we have a short cover catching. Sonny, you've talked about Sachin Tendulkar's approach to this job. What do you think will be the approach of the left-hander, Ganguly?
Well, he's such a fluent striker with the ball, Waugh Ganguly, that he'll try and play his natural game. He's also a batsman when he gets going who's hard to stop, but at the back of his mind will be that dismissal when Kaspovic went between bat and pad in the previous encounter. So he'll be just waiting for that ball to move into him. He'll be just a little bit watchful. That might not be so good from the Indian point of view, simply because they're chasing a score of 284 and they cannot afford too many dot balls. Too many dot balls will also make the crowd feel a little restive. We have so many Sir Garfield Soberses sitting in the crowd. They will soon be offering advice to the batsman there. The moment they find that there have been a few pretty quiet overs, they'll start to boo, and that'll add to the pressure.
There must be a couple of Rowan Canais as well. There must be some right-handers out there. Well, that's well played. He's got a fine away from Fleming. In fact, there's Tom Moody at third man.
Well, that'll ease the pressure considerably, that boundary. Waugh Ganguly just opening the face of the bat and guiding it past the fielder at gully, if there had been a fielder there. Very well played. But I did mention Sir Garfield Sobers simply because it's a left-hander who is on strike. But yes, there are so many experts in the crowd.
Oh, that's a good delivery. Not all that short and lifting up into the ribcage area. Ganguly just practices the hook shot.
Yes, I think that caught him by surprise, because you don't normally expect a ball coming around your ribs in one-day cricket, and particularly not on a pitch like this. This has been a pretty slow pitch, but this has taken off quite nicely. Awkward height to Waugh Ganguly. He had to fend at it.
Tendulkar sent back.
Well, there wasn't a run in it. Waugh Ganguly very rightly sending Tendulkar back. He sees Damien Martin coming in very quickly, and Tendulkar struggling just a little bit over there.
Moody will cut this one off. It's 14 without loss. Light shining brightly here in Sharjah. India with a big task ahead of them. The original asking rate was 5.7 per over. Ganguly on strike to Fleming.
When the opening bowlers are bowling so well, not giving you too many loose deliveries to go for the boundaries, you have to look for the opportunities to get the extra run. You have to run hard between wickets, put pressure on the fielders. When you put pressure on the fielders, particularly when they're on the boundary line, there's always the possibility that they might misfield and then you might go for the extra run. Last ball of Kasparov is over. Ganguly opened the face of the bat, and there he is now, just about there. He's slowing. And that has been the difference between the Australian running between the wickets and the Indian running between the wickets. The Australians far more athletic between wickets, also far more athletic in getting to the ball in the deep positions and getting it quickly back to the wicket keeper. The extra run taken or the extra run denied can make a difference. It can make a difference to the confidence of the team.
Yes, it's one area where Sourav Ganguly can improve his game. He would improve it both with running between wickets and in the field. He can be a bit tardy in the field. Fleming coming around the wicket now. Ganguly hitting the ball firmly, but straight to the fieldsman at the moment.
Yes, and you can hear already the crowd's getting a bit restless. They know that India have a big target, 284 to chase, and suddenly they know that, things are not moving. They were expecting Sachin Tendulkar and Sourav Ganguly to come out all guns blazing and maybe in 4 overs have 40 runs on the board. But that's not what's happened, and suddenly you can feel that there is an air of restlessness.
That's better cricket. Yes, I've never heard Sir Garfield in such good voice.
Yes, there will be no shortage of advice to the Indian team. Ricky Ponting maybe just getting a little carried away. That's something which is seen nowadays in cricket, whether the run is being easily taken or not. Fielders do have a go at the stumps, not bothered about it ricocheting and going for extra runs.
Well taken at point by Ponting. India 15 after 5 overs. India looking for 285 for victory, and that will be a vast improvement on anything they've done so far with the bat in this tournament. They won their first game against New Zealand with a score of 9 for 220. They made 206 in a losing effort against Australia, and then only 181 in losing to New Zealand. So 3 scores there. Nothing major about those scores. And in the final in Delhi against Australia, they just made 227. That was in a losing effort as well. And on that occasion, they were bowled out. Actually, prior to that, the final in Delhi, they'd been making some huge scores. I think 300 from memory in Cochin, where Jadeja got 100. So they had some very good form on the board, but that loss in the final in Delhi seems to have knocked the steam out of India a little bit. They're taking some time to recover from it. Well struck. Oh, and it's come off the boot and gone very close to the stumps. The way Sachin Tendulkar threw his head back suggests he might have been out. He's grinning about it now.
Yes, Ganguly hit that ball very firmly back. It was short. and he hit it very firmly. It's gone off the hands and almost onto the stumps.
Well, that's beautifully timed. Only Michael Bevan could have got there. Geez, quick.
He's a very good timer of the ball, very sweet timer of the ball. Gets a lot of power to his timing. The ball speeds after hitting the middle of the bat, but what Ganguly is trying to do is trying to get the boundaries. He's seeing the ball so well, so early.
Who'd want to be a bowler? You're sailing along in the over thinking you're doing a terrific job. 3 dots in a single, and then all of a sudden, bang, bang. And 2 of them disappear. The first one just over the rope, the second one way back into the crowd. From the bowler's point of view, and Sachin Tendulkar have given up there. Australia have had about 3 chances to run him out. Nothing's connected yet.
Well, I think Ganguly is just getting a little over keen. Tendulkar not even in the frame there. He's hitting the ball hard to the fielder, so that's making it easier for the fielder to attack the ball. You look for the short single when you dab it around the pitch area. This is not helping at all because he's hitting it hard and he's hitting it straight to the fielder. He's got the time to see it, so he should really be dabbing it around.
Well, those 2 bang bangs, in the bowler's case, bang bang, you're dead. Sachin Tendulkar giving him the charge with the first one. Second delivery, Kasevich banging it in short, and that went way back into the crowd. That was adios, that one. Ganguly past mid-off to the boundary. India are getting a move on.
But when he's hitting the ball hard, that's what he should be trying to do. Try to hit it through the gap. But even the pressure is showing on Ganguly because he's normally a very good placer of the ball. This time he's been hitting it straight to the fielders. Not this one. This one he's lofted it wide of the fielder at mid-off. That will make him feel a lot more confident.
Oh, that's a brilliant piece of fielding. That was hit like a rocket. Crowd really enjoying what's going on at the moment. This is exciting cricket.
Oh yes, I think those 2 sixes certainly walked them up, and then Ganguly hitting that boundary, and this is a cracking shot. Terrific work there by Ricky Ponting, saving that boundary. Short, giving Ganguly just the width that he needed. This is fantastic fielding by Ricky Ponting.
Mistimed. Ganguly in trouble this time. The Australians just not able to hit the stumps. They need to have a bit of a chat about this running between wickets. It's getting out of hand.
Yes, it is, because I think they're just letting the pressure get to them. They know that they're chasing a big total, a couple of dot balls, and they suddenly feel that they've got to do something desperate. This is another desperate run because Ganguly was off balance. He was hitting it off the back foot. That means he's taken 1 step back, which is that much more distance that he's got to cover to get to the crease. He's just got to relax both of them.
India 33 without loss. Ganguly on 14, Tendulkar 16. India 33 without loss after 7 overs. American baseball stadiums, they say this joint is jumping. Well, this joint is certainly jumping. No ball is the call. And Ganguly will pick up an easy 2. Jumping into their chairs to continue with the commentary, Richie Benaud and Ravi Shastri.
Thank you, Ian. Yes, there's a buzz around this ground now. We've seen almost everything happening in these first 7 overs. Some blazing hits to the fence, some terrific shots over the fence. Brilliant fielding by the Australians. Also seen some good deliveries. Can't ask for more. I said earlier with Richie Beno, the Indians will have to play out of their skins here to achieve this target of 285. I think the other target they have in mind is 254. They've got off to a good start here. Going at 5 runs per over. Ganguly on strike. Kasparovich the bowler.
Fielding so far has been brilliant. Ponting's been outstanding. That's Damien Martin. And the throw sensibly to Tendulkar's end. He might have been run out 3 times so far. Through backing up too far and not being able to turn and get back. The throws only just missed on each occasion.
As the Australian fielders are tight in the circle. Get runs here. 2 runs for that. In fact, he settles only for a single.
Wonderful atmosphere around the Sharjah ground. Capacity house now, around about the 20,000 mark. They've rushed from work, get in here, hot day and a warm evening, and an animated crowd looking for 285 or 254. 254 on the net run rate. Equidistant from all 3. You could draw a nice little triangle there. Wasn't quite what Indian supporters had in mind, to see it swirling around up there with 3 green and gold guys going for it.
Already hit 2 huge sixes, Tendulkar of Kasparovich. The heat is on out there. Better line now to the left-hander. Targeting his off-stump here, Kasparovich, trying to bowl as straight as possible. So 4 runs coming off that over, 37 for no loss. So Sharjah really a spectacular sight now in the night once the lights are on. What a superb contest going on here. Yeah, made a good start, 37 for no loss. The required. The important thing is that they've got all their wickets in hand. Steve Waugh having a chat with his bowler, discussing the field placing, especially to Tendulkar.
Runs at Sharjah for Sachin Tendulkar. Averages just over 43. 650s, 200s, and very, very consistent and wonderfully entertaining. Ready in this innings. He's only made 17, but he's had the crowd on their feet and has delighted everyone all the way through the tournament. good balanced combination, Tendulkar and Ganguly, left hand, right hand. And well, Ganguly does a very good job. Out. That's the last very good job he'll be doing out there this evening. And Damien Fleming has got him. There wouldn't have been much in it coming over the wicket there. Always a question for the umpire of whether it is pitched in line with the stumps. And that one must have been right on leg stump.
Yes, no doubt about that. That would have crashed into the leg stump. It pitched on line as well. Ganguly playing across the line there, missing that one altogether. And in the end, finding that he has to walk back to the pavilion. He's out for 17. India lose their first wicket, 38 runs on the board. So interesting move here by the Indians, promoting Nan Mongia in the order. Comes ahead of the Indian captain, Mohammad Azharuddin. Obviously with strict instructions, which we have to carry out there. 95 matches, a career best of 69 against Pakistan, and that was here in Sharjah. Made a useful knock against New Zealand there in that last game, 22. Also opened the batting for India in test matches.
So the wicket of Sourav Ganguly. Much in it there, but it looked as though it pitched just on leg stump. It's so difficult to get an LBW. And Fleming gone past the outside edge a couple of times tonight. Now has had some reward.
And that beats the outside edge again. He's delighted once he sees the umpire's finger going up. It's hard work for the bowlers on these tracks. He's had a good tournament, Damien Fleming. He's picked up 7 wickets already. This is a good opening spell. Just 1 run coming off that over and a wicket as well. 38 for 1. So Ganguly, the only man dismissed for India. He was out in the last over from Fleming for 17. Out in front of his stumps. Tendulkar is still there, and the contest between he and Kasparovich will continue. Michael Kasparovich might just alter his length. He's bowled fractionally on the shorter side to Tendulkar. He's paid the price for it. No better side in cricket when you have a fast bowler charging in and you have a batsman who's looking to get after him. That gets the crowd on their feet. It's lights on. There's not much dew. There's in fact no dew at all on the grass. Sometimes it happens here that you get a lot of dew and then the ball gets wet. Problems for the bowlers. And
.247 more needed, 40.3 overs. Six and over the asking rate.
the Indians will have to play it sensibly here. I think they should first aim for that target of 254 rather than going for the other one, 285. Their main aim at the moment would be to make it to the finals.
Well, this is what they have to do in all, make 285. That's the Australian card. Gilchrist out for 11. Mark Waugh lovely innings for 81. Ricky Ponting was in brilliant form before he was stumped. 31 for him. And Michael Bevan, 101 not out from 103 balls faced. 26 for Lehmann, 284 for 7. They got away to a flyer after Gilchrist was dismissed. Mark Waugh and Ponting, so they were run amok. And Kumble came on and bowled a wonderful spell. 7 overs for 17 in the face of all that mayhem.
Well, to be honest, I'm a little surprised they've sent Mongia up the order. That was the Indian bowling card. 2 wickets for Prasad. He came back well in the second spell. Harbhajan Singh was expensive, 1 for 63. Kumble, I thought, bowled very well. A little expensive in the last 3 overs. As many as 8 bowlers used. It's 39 for 1. The Australians have come back well after picking up that wicket of Sourav Ganguly. Put a check on the scoring. And also, they've kept Tendulkar away from the strike. Coming back to the idea of promoting Mongia in the order. There's like Mohammad Azharuddin, Lakshman, Jadeja to follow. Find that hard to digest.
Whatever innings he plays, Mongia, they will want him to have his runs up level, or roundabout level with the ball's face. And he's got 5 to make up at the moment. 5 dot balls. And if he has been sent out, as one assumes, to push it along, then that will already be preying on his mind.
That's right, it might lead to some frustration. It'll definitely frustrate Tendulkar if he doesn't get the strike for too long. 2 slips for Mongia. Lucas Fleming is getting a little bit of movement.
Missing leg stump, but he was getting some movement, as Ravi Shastri mentioned, both ways too. That darted in and was going down the leg side, but he has bowled a couple of pretty good leg cutters.
Well, he finds the gap finally and opens his account with a boundary.
Fleming will be livid with himself for doing that. One right up in the slot there. The one thing Mongia wanted was the chance to get on the front foot. And it's his first scoring stroke, 4 from 7 balls faced.
Straight away, the offside field is strengthened. The slip goes out to a short point position just in front of point. Lucky to get away there. There's an appeal from the keeper and the man at first slip. Obviously must have touched the pad. There must have been a noise.
Just the faintest flick, I think, on the pad. Put it away wide of the man at short cover. Nice defensive push.
Well, what must be going through the bowler's mind now? That was hit straight back. That was a catch, but it was a no ball as well. Checking with the umpire how far ahead. He had gone from the line.
Yes, it wasn't. Well, it was a no ball, and that might have taken Kasparovic's mind off things. Yep, definite no ball.
So an expensive over this for Australia. 15 runs coming off it. 60 for 1 India. So we've got a real noisy crowd out here at the Sharjah Cricket Stadium. And that last over from Michael Kasparovic, very expensive. 13 runs coming off it. Beg your pardon, 15 runs coming off it. And he's bowled 6 overs now for 41. Required run rate still under 6 runs per over, so that's fine as far as the Indians are concerned. And spin being introduced for the first time in this Australian innings. Shane Warne, the bowler.
Well, Shane! Come on, Warnie! It's underway again.
Just as was the case when Anil Kumble came on, this is a critical time in the innings. India got away from Australia here. Kumble pulled the Australians back. Question whether Warne can do it.
Oh, bowling, Warnie!
It's quite often he's been brought on to bowl inside the first 15 overs, and he's often broken partnerships.
Started the other night bowling just about all top spinners, and then suddenly fizzed a leg break through and got a stumping.
Ball, Shane!
And again, right on the spot.
Much turn there. There's quite a bit of overspin on the ball.
He saw Mongia coming, just dropped that fractionally shorter.
Ball, Shane!
This is a really good start by Warne so far. Bang on target. Concentrating on his leg breaks. Just 1 run coming off that over. 61 for 1. His partnership now worth 23. Mongia promoted in the order. He's on 11. Tendulkar is on 28. After 6 overs from Michael Kasparovic. Tom Moody now being introduced into the attack.
Well, Moody has had a couple of very good matches here in Sharjah. He's lifted his stocks with an eye to selection for the World Cup in 1999. 1 for 16, none for 21, 1 for 40. It's been quite accurate, and the economy rate has been okay. And he's made runs as well, powerfully most of the time. 13 overs for 61.
And Mongia goes straight over the top of Moody's first delivery. Just 1 bounce over the ropes.
Hasn't completed the job yet, but it's quite a good effort so far. 3 fours in his 15, and he's faced 18 balls.
And And he goes again, this time over mid-on. And this time it goes over the rope. So Mongia really doing the job he's been asked to do. Boundary of the first ball and a 6 of the next one. So what a welcome for Tom Moody to the bowling crease.
Well, the first thing Moody will need to do is get the ball up a bit, jag it in at Yorker length. That's a very big hit, beautifully timed. There's no great amount of backswing there. He just hit through the ball. He's hitting straight down the ground where there were no men because there are only 2 allowed outside the circle. One has gone back now. Kaspervich has gone back to log off. And the other man is out at deep forward square.
Good piece of fielding in mid-on. Michael Bevan very quick to move across to his right.
Such a fine line. Moody's tried to bowl 3 Yorkers. He's got 1 absolutely right. That one wasn't quite right. Wasn't too bad, but Mongia had the chance. And there's another good one. 71 for 1.
So the Indians here making a match of this. They still need 214 runs and a long way to go. They've started off well here. They've lost the wicket of Ganguly, but Tendulkar is still there. Shane Warne will continue, and in the commentary box will be Greg Chappell and Sunil Gavaskar.
Thank you, Ravi. There's a lot of excitement in the air, a lot of excitement all around the ground. Crowd really getting behind the Indian team. They can sense something great could happen tonight. Shane Warne, very important for the Australians. He could pick up a couple of wickets. It would change the atmosphere quite drastically, but at the moment the momentum is with India. Tendulkar on 28, Mongia already 21 from 23 balls. Tendulkar, Sonny, has given me the impression from ball 1 that he's set himself to get 100 tonight.
Yes, if he does that, then India will be well on course to get at least to that 254, if not 284. The 254 that they need to qualify for the finals. Yes, he's been watchful excepting for that over from Kaspervich when suddenly he went berserk hitting those 2 consecutive 6s. But yes, I think he's set his stall to get a big 100 for India today.
Oh, Shane.
And Mongia has been sent out there as the pinch hitter.
He's done a fair job of it as well because he scored 21 of 24 balls.
Just outside the line of off stump. 1 run from that over, 72 for 1. After 15 overs, Australia 87 for 3. Same stage, India now 72 for 1. They'll be happy with that progress. Things have worked out pretty well. They've still got their master blaster Tendulkar out there and the junior blaster Mongia. Been sent out there to do a job and so far has done it pretty well. But this man is really the key, as he so often is, for India's fortunes this evening.
Well, the field restrictions now removed after 15 overs. And it was important for Tendulkar to stay well past the 15 overs because sometimes he gets a little carried away by the restrictions in the field, thinks that he's got to get as many as possible in the 15 instead of looking at batting for 40-45 overs.
This tournament is a precursor for what we're going to see later in the year. World Tel, in fact, will be covering the Mini World Series from Dhaka later in the year. It's a Mini World Cup. All the cricket-playing nations. Mark Mascarenhas there on the front left-hand corner of the screen. Very happy with the way India is moving along at the moment. And his pirate friend is also looking quite happy. The Mini World Cup should be very exciting from Dhaka. I was there earlier in the year to see India, Pakistan and Bangladesh play there, and the National Stadium I thought was a fantastic venue for what will be a fantastic tournament. It's going to be a sudden death tournament, so once the teams are beaten, they're on their way home. So there'll be a lot of pressure on in that Mini World Cup. The lights will be installed by then, so all the games will be day-night matches, which just seems to add a little bit special to any cricket match. So personally, I'm looking forward to the Mini World Cup. Sonny, should be quite an event.
Yes, it should be. We saw also the enthusiasm of the crowd there in Dhaka. There were big crowds for all the matches, and that'll certainly help boost the game in Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a very keen young cricketing nation. Just a bit of a setback they received with the death of Raman Lamba.
A pretty good over from Tom Moody this time, just the 2 runs coming from it. 74 for 1 India. That's the situation here, Sharjah at the moment. After 16 overs, India 74 for 1. 3 very tall buildings there. They're the big overs for India. 15 coming from 1 over, and the progress of India, the white line there being the Indian scoring rate, run rate. Started off on a cracking pace. It's just slipped under the Australian rate. Still well placed for their chase. 200. $285 required. The secondary target of 255. If they can't win the game, 255 will qualify them for the final, but the Indians would rather win this and get a psychological advantage over the Australians. Down the wicket he goes again. It's well struck. Deep mid-off comes around Fleming. Keeps it down to 1 run. The field is back now. The 15 overs long gone.
And a couple of dot balls was all that needed for Mongia to come down the pitch and try and loft one over the top. The outfield gets a little bit slower towards the boundary line. The grass a little bit thicker there than nearer the pitch.
Cheeky little shot from Tendulkar. He'll come back for 2. That shot is designed to frustrate Shane Warne. And I think you might find that it's been successful.
Yes, just tapping it from around the off stump, but he's seen that Warne's been bowling flatter, so he hasn't had the opportunity to go down the pitch, Tendulkar.
Lays back this time, but can't pierce the offside field.
Warne's not giving the ball any air at all. He's bowling it flat. He's getting the odd ball to turn.
good over from Shane Warne. 3 runs from it, 77 for 1. Mongia will be on strike. India is still needing 208 runs to win. They have 33 overs left. Need to get them at 6.3 and over. It's still a heavy task. It's a big ask. Sachin Tendulkar, you always feel, is the key to it. If the Australians can get rid of Tendulkar, then a change could easily come over this game. But India still have Azharuddin, Laxman, Jadeja, Tendulkar, Avinda, Kumble, and then the bowlers. Still some good batting to come.
Yes, but as the overs go on, it's going to be that much harder for the batsmen to come in to try and start hitting the balls for runs. It all depends on the batsman at the crease. They must bat as long as possible without taking too much time between runs. They mustn't have too many dot balls.
Really needs a good partnership now, some good sensible batting, and you couldn't have anyone better than Sachin Tendulkar to be doing that. Mongia perhaps needs to play the role now of a Michael Bevan, chip the ball around, run hard. Boundaries will be harder to come by now. The field's more deeply set. A boundary striker will be more likely to be Sachin Tendulkar.
Even if he's not able to hit boundary every over, what Tendulkar and Mongia should be looking to do is to try and pick at least 5 runs and over through singles or twos.
Flashing square, well fielded. Stephen Waugh, the captain, leading by example. In fact, no, it's Ricky Ponting. Who else could it be? Brilliant in the field.
Yes, he's already saved quite a few runs for Australia in this innings itself. A couple of scorching drives from Ganguly he cut off, in this one too. Big difference Ricky Ponting makes to the Australian out cricket.
Last 3.5 overs has just yielded 8 runs. Been a good spell by the Australians. 2 runs from the over. India 79 for 1. 206 runs required from 32 overs. 6.43 now the required run rate. Currently it's 4.38. Shane Warne continuing. This is an important period of the game. You've got the best bowler for Australia. You've got the best batsman for India. And a game there for the taking. Which team is going to be able to grab it? Tendulkar frustrating Shane Warne with this little dab around the corner. Hard running. Astrovich, the fielder, down at fine leg. Come back for 2.
That's the second time he's played that shot. Sachin Tendulkar picking it up from around the off stump. Just dabbing it to deep fine leg. His strength really is the drive. I keep saying that that's his strength, but the odd cheeky shot like that won't go wrong so long as he's sure where the fielders are.
This time he goes for the fully fledged sweep shot. Kastorowicz again having to do the running. That's a good start to the over for India. 4 runs coming from the first 2. Yes, that little dab shot can be dangerous if you've got a fieldsman fielding backward square leg in the catching position, but without anyone catching, it's reasonably safe unless you get a top edge onto the body and it goes up in the air for the wicketkeeper to catch. Frustration level is high for Shane Warne at the moment. Now the dab on the offside. Ian Harvey out on the field as a replacement for Michael Bevan. Perhaps Bevan suffering cramp after his big innings. Did a lot of running in the heat of the afternoon. So he had to go off for drinks, and Ian Harvey is replacing him. glove. He's a pretty good fielder.
Tommy's in the air, and it's wide of the field. That's the sort of thing they need from Mongia, just chipping in with a boundary or two to give support to Tendulkar. That's the 50 partnership between these two. A very, very useful partnership. It's amazing how often you send out a pinch hitter and it comes unstuck, but Mongia has done a very good job for his team.
Yes, he has. He's been batting quite confidently in this tournament. Not afraid to go for the big shots.
In for the single. Off the over so far. A good over for India.
That's the kind of partnership that they need to stabilise the innings after Ganguly was out, but they need it to carry on.
Looking for the single. Why wouldn't they take it? The single there for the taking. Mongia didn't want it. India 89 for 1. That's what happened last over. 10 runs from it. 19 overs gone. Tom Moody to continue. Mongia works him away. It's in the gap. Long run round the boundary. Damien Martin, the fielder, picks it up.
Yes, Indians have to capitalise on a couple of overs, because there will be always some overs when there won't be too many runs coming. So when the runs are coming in a particular over, they mustn't lose in taking advantage. What happens is sometimes you take runs of the first 4 deliveries and then you say to yourself, we've got enough, and not look for the runs of the last 2. That's what happened when that single of the last ball was refused.
Well bowled by Tom Moody. Frustration is hurting in the Australian bowlers, knowing that they need to keep taking wickets. If they can take wickets on a regular basis, it will keep the momentum in check.
Yes, that's why a partnership is so vital for India. Big partnership, because that will give just the kind of base for the later batsmen to try and get going without trying to settle down, without trying to consume overs, trying to settle down.
Again, there was hesitation in the running between wickets. There's just a little bit of confusion. You get the feeling that Tendulkar's not overly confident with Mongia's calling at the moment. They need to just sort that out. They don't need anything like a run out. They had got 3 run outs in the game the other evening, cost them dearly.
Yes, the last thing that they need now is a run out.
So he's been helped by Mongia too, because Mongia's taking a few risks, and that means that Tendulkar can play his natural game.
In the air, down towards third man. It'll bounce a couple of times to the fieldsman. Mongia touches down. Back he comes. In comes the throw over the bails. Well, it's all happening. The Australians know if they get a wicket or 2 now, the Indians will have their backs right to the wall. Have a look at this throw.
Mongia, that delivery bouncing quite high. He deliberately hit it in the air, getting it over point and trying to get it away from the third man and get it to the boundary. He's played very well in this partnership, Mongia.
In the air, that's out. He's hit it straight to mid-wicket. So the partnership have been broken. Mongia actually has done his stuff. He came out there, promoted in the order, was told to get on with it, and he's played a little gem of an innings.
Mongia hitting that one to Mark Waugh. A very casual catch taken by Mark Waugh. He was back on the line, saw it all the way, and then just had a bit of throwing practice. India 107 for 2.
So the Indian captain Mohammad Azharuddin now has arrived at the crease before the start of play. The 2 of us mentioned the importance of Mohammad Azharuddin and Tendulkar. If one of them could score 100, then it may well be that India can get up. Well, we've already got Tendulkar out there on 50. Mohammad Azharuddin has just arrived at the crease. Moody's desperate to get going and have a go at him, but he's really taking his time. Little adjustment to the field. They're bringing the man up from the point boundary, the sweeper, and putting a slip in position. And so he's off the mark straight away, down to third man. Right, well, the run rate required to win this match now is 6.32. It's been hovering around about that mark. Came down a little bit, got out to about 6.4 at one stage. That's to win the match. They need 177 more runs to win the match. Well, that's the second target from India's point of view. The first target is to get through to the finals. And we mentioned that they needed to score 5.21 runs per over. They need to score now 5.21 runs per over, so just over 5 and over to actually get to the finals. That'll give them 254, which is their first target. So just remember 254, that's the first target, and then of course the 284. So just over 5 and over, that's gettable.
So I don't think these two players will be thinking 254. They'll be thinking 285 and win the game, so that India can go into the final with some real momentum against Australia. Obviously, if they get into a bit of strife, well then 254 becomes the second option. But at the moment, Tendulkar and Azharuddin, Jadeja to come, they'll be thinking 285.
Yeah, that may well be the case, Ian, but Mohammad Azharuddin sent one of the young players up, and he wanted to know exactly what was required in order to make sure that they played in the finals. So he'll know what that is, that figure is.
Well, it would be remiss of the captain if he didn't work that figure out. The thing about looking for the 285 is if you look for the 285, as we see a top spinner there from Shane Warne, and you fall a little bit short, you still get in anyhow.
And that one behind square on the onside. It'll be interesting to see as the game develops what they do. Obviously, a lot will depend on how things go. Now, this partnership absolutely vital. Just come together. Put on 4 so far off 6 balls. Boy, and all the crowd focused. Another one. This is, oh, and that was close to the stumps down the far end. The Australians really are having a look for a run out here, having a shy at every possible opportunity. It's 112 for 2. There's the comparison after 23 overs. You can see quite a difference between the Australian score of 133 and the Indian score of 112. For Moody to continue. This is his 6th over.
The bad news for India in that comparison is that there was no lull in the scoring for Australia. Sometimes it doesn't hurt if you're behind at the 25 over mark and quite a bit behind if the opposition has had a bit of a lull in their scoring. But Australia kept going at a very good rate all the way through, particularly with Michael Bevan making a century. He kept the run rate up there all the way through the innings.
Gets it away down to third man again. He does that very successfully and often, Mohammad Azharuddin.
You can see there with Australia, it was just a good steady climb all the way. They got away to a fast start and never faltered. Azharuddin playing extremely well through the offside in the last few weeks. Really is in pretty good touch. There was a period just a couple of years back where he was playing a lot fact, playing almost everything through the onside, almost disregarded his offside play, and he really struggled with his batting. But now he's back to playing through the offside and playing well in that area.
Running down the wicket there, he saw him coming and fired it in at his pads. Deflection out of the offside.
Yes, he didn't make the mistake that Kastrovic did earlier on. Kastrovic saw him charging, banged it in a bit short, and Tendulkar lofted it over mid-wicket for 6. Followed that next ball with a magnificent pull shot for 6.
Always played and missed at that one. He tries to get it away down to third man a lot, and that time just missing it. A little wide, that ball.
Moody's getting just a little bit of movement off the seam. The odd one he's got to come back into the right-hander. On that occasion, he really rolled the fingers across it.
Yes, I think he is trying to bowl a few of those leg cutters. That one down to square leg. 4 runs off the over. 116 for 2. 116 for 2. Tendulkar on 52. Mohammad Azharuddin's 5. And we're going to see a change in the attack now. Steve Waugh is going to have a bit of a bowl himself. Expensive the other night. Got after him a little bit. New Zealanders took him for 38 or 4 overs. He's introducing himself now. He's in his field. He's got 2 back on the onside and 3 back on the offside.
Just looking at the way Australia maintained momentum through their innings, the first 10 overs brought 58 runs, second 10 58, third 10 57, and then the fourth 10 44, and finished up with 67 in the final 10.
That's well played. Ponting charging in at that one, wasn't able to change direction, and that one went off the meat of the bat, so 2 more.
Timed very well by Azharuddin. Lovely use of the wrists when playing through the onside. Steve Waugh started to bowl just near the end of the one-day series in India. Had a 10-over stint in the game leading up to the final. Just really to get a bit of bowling in before the final and also get a bit of bowling fitness. He's proved that he's fully fit for bowling, and that's handy for Australia.
Pakistan's #1 fan. Never misses a game. And I can tell you he's very popular when Pakistan are playing. He seems to have a little bit of a problem down the base of that bat. He swapped that bat, I think, the other day. And he's obviously put a bit of tape on the base of it now. Working that one away off the stumps. So once again, 4 off the over. 120 for 2. That run rate to win now, 6.6. Just going up a little bit. You need to score 5.36 to qualify for the finals, and that's a wide.
Tom Moody there just trying for the sucker ball, I think, to give Tendulkar the wide one to have a dash at. But the batsman outfoxed him by letting it go.
Oh, there's a mix-up. If he hits the stumps here, there's trouble. That was very well done by Moody. He got rid of that one very quickly, and it couldn't have been far away from the stumps. Well, Mohammad Azharuddin wanted the run and he kept going, although Tendulkar looked as if he was never going to want to take the run. Well, he was on the back foot. It was an optimistic call.
Tendulkar thought about it. You can see it's a fairly early call of no. Azharuddin was a long way down and he was dead if Tom Moody had hit. The Australians have had a number of opportunities. They haven't been able to convert with a run out.
Actually, I got that totally wrong. That was more Tendulkar's fault, I think. He looked as if he wanted to come. Oh, and just a little bit of a mix-up there again. Yes, Tendulkar came a few strides, and that really committed Mohammad Azharuddin. And then he said no, which makes it very hard if you're trying to get a short single. Watch this. He says, or he comes, and then turns away and goes back. And, of course, Mohammad Azharuddin, anticipating that he's going to run, got himself into no man's land. Yes, Az's been run out a couple of times. He wants to be a little careful. He goes again with that little slide shot down to third man. Almost becoming a signature shot for him.
The difference at the moment between India and Australia's innings, you had Bevan out there getting singles from nearly every ball he faced, but then he threw in the odd two because he's so fast between wickets and he places the ball so well into the outfield. India at the moment not able to get the twos. And Australia at the moment have shut down the fours for Tendulkar. He's hit 3 4s and 2 6s in his innings. Been 6 overs since Tendulkar hit a boundary.
Yes, it's going to start getting to them shortly. They're going to have to do something. It's quietly blowing out the run rate to win. Moved up to 6.66 now. Maybe that Tendulkar will start looking at one or two of those little leg glides of his. They've got the fielder up for him. He's back for Azza.
No ball called by umpire Bucknor, so that helps India's cause.
Yes, it's a frustrating business, this just going over that line. They've done it a few times, and he comes over now, and he'll remark the line with the bail. Here he's just right up on the edge of the line there. You've got to have some portion of your foot behind it. Well played, but there's a sweeper back. No, it wasn't a bad over for the Indians. 6 runs from it, 126 for 2. Well, her day's been made. That's the Coca-Cola fan of the match. He's got the ball signed by Shatnath and the bat signed by Ganguly. There with her mum and dad, obviously, having a wonderful night at the cricket, cheering India on clearly. And look at that smile. She'll be smiling a little more if India get through.
Well, even there, India not able to pick up the second run, although Azharuddin played it into the gap in the outfield, but he hit it very well. And Ian Harvey, very athletic with a strong arm, able to keep them to 1.
Yes, there we are. That's that little bit of impatience now beginning to creep in, a little bit of tension. Haven't really been able to get anything away. Tendulkar charging down the pitch. He's on 56.
He's given Steve Waugh the charge. Waugh banged it in short.
Only 2 4s in the last 13 overs, so the boundaries are certainly dried up. Well, Sachin Tendulkar will be right in contention for the player of the series. There it is, the player of the tournament, that lovely opal. I suspect that Mark Waugh is probably in the running. Michael Bevan, candidate as well. Certainly in these conditions, the batsmen tend to dominate a little bit. But a nice prize, that is. A lovely Opel motor car for the player of the tournament.
All nicely gift wrapped. It would help Tendulkar's cause if he got 100 tonight and got India home.
Yes, it's got everything, the Opel. 1.4 litre 4-cylinder petrol engine, 5-speed manual transmission. It's got power steering, heavy-duty alternator and battery, radio and cassette player, additional side blinkers, driver's seat with height adjuster. That's useful. Many more other nice little innovations on the Opel. 5 runs off the over, 131 for 2. Really pleasant evening. Just noticed a moment ago that Tom Moody actually, not Tom Moody, it was Michael Kasperovich actually put his sweater on. Be just a little worried about getting a bit stiff. So the run rate required is just moving up a little bit, 6.69. That's to win the match. .35 to qualify for the final. Well fielded, Ricky Ponting, very alert at square of the wicket there. He needs to be, because that's the Mohammad Azharuddin area.
The Australians feel reasonably comfortable bowling just short of a length to Azharuddin. He doesn't play the pull shot much, prefers to hit the shorter ball away on the offside. They've got plenty of protection there. A little bit different when you bowl short to Tendulkar, because he will play the pull shot and he'll play it very powerfully. So slightly different length required for Tendulkar.
Quite a big gap at fine leg. Shy at the stumps and wide. And he's back for the second. Well, every one counts. Tendulkar didn't take long to realise that there was another run there. It was a pretty firm throw at the stumps.
So that's one way of getting twos. Get the overthrow. Nobody able to get around and back up there.
Having a little look down towards square leg, Tendulkar. Mid-on's up as well, so if he gets it over his head, he could get a boundary. Of 73 balls. Partnership starting to take on certain proportions now, 27. Lots and lots of experience between these two. Need to get them nice and close.
Kasperovich being terrorised at mid-on. Playing the ball to him and running. He's a big man, very athletic, but it's a long way to get down, and he's probably one of the least accurate throwers in the Australian side.
Oh, he's bowled him. Well, that's a big breakthrough. It really looked as if Mohammad Azharuddin was getting a little impatient there. He tried to blast that one through the offside. Just seemed that his back leg slipped away a little bit, and it dragged back onto the stumps. And so that's a big blow. Mohammad Azharuddin, the Indian captain, out-bowled.
This one was quite a wide delivery outside off stump. He's got a thick inside edge, and it's crashed into leg stump. Azharuddin a little bemused by it all, probably feeling that he's a touch unlucky. It's 135 for 3.
Jadeja is the new batsman. He's a right-hander, and he's also got plenty of experience. Won 27 matches, an average of 35. Lots of runs there, a best of 119 against Sri Lanka in Colombo back in 97-98. This tournament, he struggled a little bit. Got to double figures 3 times, but hasn't kicked on. He's on strike now. So that's the end of the over. This is the view from behind. You'll see how it's wide, and he drags it back a long way. That back leg of his just goes back a bit. Perhaps just trying to hit it through the offside. I think it's a bit of a premeditated shot, that one. And unfortunately, he looks back, and of course, the leg bail has dislodged, and so that was the end of that. Right, so now it's going to be Steve Waugh continuing. Meanwhile, Tendulkar is still there. And while Tendulkar's there, there is hope. I'll tell you more about that little glimmer of hope. Ravi Shastri is moving into the commentary position now, and with him is Greig Chappell.
Thank you, Tony. I don't think it's just a glimmer of hope. I think there's big hope if Tendulkar is still there. Not to get the target of 285, that is a difficult task, but at least to get 254. Azharuddin and Tendulkar were going along nicely till Azhar was dismissed. One just felt he tried to hit the ball a little too hard. That's why the bottom hand came into play. Where India have to be careful now. Keep an eye on that required run rate. One thing is pretty certain that in spite of Azharuddin being dismissed, quality of the running between the wickets still be the same, because Jadeja is quick. Required run rate now 6.93. I think the Indians should keep an eye on a score of 254, because their main aim is to be playing here on Friday, and the target for that, the required run rate for that, is 5.45. so that's reasonably okay, but Greig Tendulkar has to be there.
Yes, I think so, Ravi. I think he's the absolute key to it for India on both counts, for the win or the place in the final. I know there's a group of blokes out at the Darjeeling Cricket Club this evening having a barbecue who will be watching very closely because of India. Well, it's out. He's got him. What a magnificent catch. And that does change the game. Adam Gilchrist throws himself to the right, takes a brilliant one-handed catch. Steve Waugh takes the wicket of Tendulkar. Jadeja, I'm sorry. And that really is just what the Australians wanted.
Well, what a beauty. Won't get to see too many better catches than that by a wicket-keeper. This was travelling quickly. Superb reflexes, sticks out that right hand and comes up with the ball. The Australians are delighted. Steve Waugh has broken through. Jadeja, the informed player, is gone, and India have lost their 4th wicket for 138. So Lakshman comes out to the middle with the Indians in a spot of bother now. They've just lost Jadeja, the 4th wicket. Still have a long way to go. He's the man. India are to reach the final. This man will have to do something special. Played very well for a 63. He's on strike now. Terrific catch by Adam Gilchrist.
Gilchrist is a great athlete. This is a genuine shot, a very thick edge, and he's had to throw himself full stretch to the right. Sometimes they stick, sometimes they don't, and do you think he enjoyed that? The whole Australian team did.
Tendulkar now will have to keep his cool. He'll have to control things out there.
Come on, lads.
Steve Waugh just wide of off stump. Not much footwork from Jadeja, just trying to slash it away. And all he did was give it a good thick edge through to Adam Gilchrist, and the Australian team rush in to congratulate him.
Yes, just for a moment one thought that the ball would pass him. And that big white glove came out. So now the required run rate has gone past the 7 runs per over mark. Very rightly, Steve Waugh now seeing that a new man has come in. He's got more men in the ring, so he's going to make it hard for the batsman to get the singles. 5 fielders in the circle for Lakshman, as against 4 when Tendulkar is on strike. Two runs coming of that, 140 for 4. So the Indians behind Australia at this stage, and Greg, one of the problems I feel India will have is they don't have the depth that Australians have in their batting.
No, they don't. Not many teams do. The Australians have got a great deal of depth. The other thing is it's very hard to maintain this sort of run rate over a long period of time against this Australian attack. I mean, it's hard enough to get 5 runs and over, let alone over 7 runs and over. So it's a stiff ask. But as long as Tendulkar's there, you've got a feeling that there's a chance. But if they lose him, all their hopes may go.
The Australians have done well to keep him away from the strike as much as possible. Out of the 187 balls that have been bowled in this innings, Tendulkar has faced just 78. So that will give you a clear indication. And he scored 64.
The wide ball there. Tried the slower one and it slid down the leg side. Out of the back of the hand. Steve Waugh is a bit of a perfectionist and he won't enjoy that at all.
A lot of variations coming into play now. The slower one used to good effect. Waugh is an experienced campaigner. And Mark Waugh there wearing Shane Warne shirt.
Interesting contest that. I think Mark Waugh would love to be able to bowl like Shane Warne. Shane Warne would love to be able to bat like Mark Waugh. We've got 2 Shane Warnes out on the field at the moment. That's the imposter. And that's the real one.
There is a difference, isn't there? Three off that over, another good one for Australia. 143 for 4 India. So 143 for 4. India going along at just under 5 runs per over. This is the period of the innings when the boundaries start drying up. They don't come that easy. And a clear indication of that is that the Indians have not hit a boundary in the last 10 overs. But a full house in here today. This is a big match, at least for the Indian team. And there's Just a dust storm here, desert storm brewing here. Plenty of dust blowing across the ground. It's a problem for the batsmen and the fielders. Can easily get into the eyes, can be very distracting. Look at Tom Moody. And the umpire is not spared too. Well, this is interesting. We've had rain stopping play. We've had bad light stopping play. It's been a long time since a sandstorm has stopped play.
Well, it does make it almost impossible to play on. Gets in the batsman's eyes, it gets in the bowlers, the fielders and the umpire's eyes. I think they've almost got to go off the ground for a while and just give it a bit of a break. I hope the storm goes away. I think we had a similar storm to this at Chandigarh a year or so ago. Last year it was during the Independence Cup. Fortunately that hit just before the game started, but no way in the world you could have played the game in those conditions.
Yes, I think the only way the storm can stop is if the breeze doesn't blow as strongly as it is at the moment. That's the main reason why you have the sand all over the place. It's impossible to play out there. I think the players might just leave the field for a little while. Well, what happens now? We'll just let you know in a minute what will happen if play is stopped after 31 overs. Third 31 overs gone. India 143 for 4.
Well, as the dust storm continues to blow across the National Stadium here, players have left the field. Drinks have been taken, but nobody's out on the ground. So, situation of the game really is thrown wide open now. India chasing 285 have lost wickets fairly steadily. Tendulkar is still there and Laxman still there. There's been a bit of a struggle against some pretty tight bowling, Ravi.
Yes, it's not been easy for the batsmen out there. Tendulkar played some great shots early on in the innings. He hit Kasparovich for a couple of sixes. Some lovely drives of the front foot, but then once the ball got a little older and India started losing wickets, then it became a lot harder for the batsmen to force the pace. 143 for 4 after 31 overs. Just to remind you that the players have left the field because of a sandstorm here in Sharjah. Indians need a partnership here from these two because they don't have too much of batting. They don't have the depth Australia had in their batting. But whilst there's Tendulkar in the middle, there is hope.
That break will have broken the momentum for the Australian bowlers. So maybe this gives India a little bit of respite and maybe the opportunity to pick the run rate up a little bit. The run rate before the storm had got up to 8.8 required to win the game. But we're starting to get out of hand, and the longer you've got a run rate of that size, the longer you've got to chase it, the harder it is. So in some ways, the Indians will be happy that the target has been reduced and the number of overs has been reduced.
Yes, but just to inform you that now this is a 46-over contest and the target for India, 276. They need 276 runs to win the game. Now, that's not going to be easy. They've lost 4 wickets. And it looks as if Michael Kasparovich will be given a ball here. Little expensive in his first spell. interesting to see whether he gets some swing, reverse swing with this old ball, because there is a breeze out there, strong cross breeze going across the ground. Michael Kasparov will be bowling his 7th over, 6 overs for 41 runs before this. And there's the target, 276 or 46 overs. Sure, the 2 Indian batsmen would have gone back to the dressing room, had a chat with the team management. Obviously, the tactics will change. We'll have to look at Tendulkar's approach from now on. And the first run after the break.
We might see some aggression from the Indian batsmen now, because they really haven't gained much from the break. 133 from 15 overs is still asking a lot.
Yes, and to qualify, Greg, for the final, they would need 237 from 46, so that's not going to be easy either.
Well, the Indians were always up against it. It was always going to be a stiff target, 46 overs or 50.
The key to India winning now is that Tendulkar gets as much of the strike as possible. They have to change gears pretty quickly. Still a strong breeze blowing across the ground, but you don't have sand blowing with it. Sprivish is doing some warm-up exercises and stretching himself. We've had another problem with the ball.
Pity they didn't think of that while the break was on. They could have changed the ball then, but there were plenty of other things for the umpires to think about, and the players for that matter. Not always easy to think of everything and get it all right, but the wind has died down to a degree, not very much, but it's obviously changed direction slightly, because the dust is nowhere near as bad as it was before. The wind seemed to be gusting and swirling around, and that brought the dust with it. Now it's blowing in the one direction. Obviously not quite as much sand from that direction, and the air has cleared somewhat. The pavilion is probably protecting the ground a little bit more from the wind blowing in this direction, whereas before it was coming in from the side of the ground. Coming from probably wide mid-wicket. It's now virtually coming straight over that stand, straight towards this camera position we're in now. And the 2 or 3 deck stand there is giving some protection, but still rather unpleasant conditions. Kasparov is bowling with a fairly strong breeze coming from behind him. Means the batsmen are looking straight back into the wind, and that dust and sand that's in the wind will be coming straight into their face, so it won't be very pleasant.
But it's nice to see that no one has left the ground. Still a full house here. Kasparov now on his way to Tendulkar. Required run rate for the target of 276 is over 8 runs per over, and that's going to be a really stiff target. I think India will keep that target of 237 in mind. And they have to achieve that score of 237. They'll have to score at little over 6 runs per over from now on, 6.37 to be exact. That's achievable. Provided the little champion is still there at the end.
Yes, I think that's the real proviso, Ravi. The little champion's still got to be there. He's the key to this game, particularly from the Indian point of view. I'm sure some of the bowlers will have something to say about that, but if he can bat through the overs, then there's a chance they can win. But if they lose him, they really are going to be pushing uphill and into the wind and into the sand.
important the Indians keep an eye on that required run rate now for the target of 237. Now that should not mount. Already 6.37. Now if that goes to over 7 runs per over, then it's going to be very difficult, even if Tendulkar is there. Australia putting up a very, very good batting performance today. So 151 for 4. Tendulkar exploding in that last over, the last delivery, smashing Kasparov straight back over his head. He picked up the slower delivery and hammered it towards the side screen. So 14 overs remaining now. Target for India 276. The target to qualify 237. And to tell you more about it, it'll be Richie Benaud and Sunil Gavaskar.
Thank you, Ravi. No shortage of incident here. We've got umpires who are being chatted up by batsmen, umpires who are chatting up their own third umpire, and a capacity crowd of 20,000 on the edge of their seats. Ravi Shastri just confirming what he said, that 276 to win, 237 to qualify. Winning of the match is important for India, so is qualification for the final. Sachin Tendulkar now has hit 4 sixes. And each of them massive strokes. Good evening, Sunil.
Good evening, Richie. I'll always love this time in a one-day match when batsmen are throwing their bats as if the sale signs are on. Everything must go. This is what I like. This is what the crowd loves as well.
Runs needed from 82 balls. That's to qualify for the final. It'll be on net run rate. But two aspects of this game, because India and New Zealand each have 2 points in the competition table, the net run rate will come into it. To win the game, India need 276, but to qualify for the final, 237.
Good moving, half. Great work, half.
I think they might as well forget getting 276 at this stage. They would only like to get to the finals.
Bevans are jangling out there because they don't want to lose another wicket. They're 4 down at the moment. Run chase will come at the end.
Bowling,
153 for 4. Well, that's not quite the same sight as we've been showing you this time of the evening on other nights. A lot of sand blowing around there at the moment. Desert storm, sandstorm. As you might just have joined us, it's hell play up. Players had to leave the field. Sand was cutting into them. Now India 153 for 4. Two aspects of the game. One, they can win the match. And two, they can lose the match but qualify for the final. It was very quick from Steve Waugh. He saw Tendulkar coming.
Yes, I think Tendulkar did telegraph his intentions pretty early. There he is, even before the ball's been delivered, he was down the pitch. Steve was far too experienced a player to pitch it up in such a position.
Ones are not enough at the moment. The asking rate is up to 9 now for the winning of the match.
Sachin Tendulkar is the one man who can get India to that qualifying run mark. Don't think that even he can get India to a victory here.
It's an occasion where sunglasses will be very handy out there for the fieldsman. Yeah, sand whipping across the ground. One overthrow.
That's what they've got to do. They've got to run as if possessed. Try and convert ones into twos, twos into threes. They'll have to take the risks now, the Indians. They simply cannot afford too many dot balls in and over. They've got to look for the big hits now.
There's a man out at deep mid-wicket. Since they came back on after the Sandstorm delay, there have been half a dozen balls smashed very, very hard. Quite beautiful strokes, but straight to fieldsman. Got to find some way to avoid doing that.
Yes, I think they are far too tense. Even Tendulkar, who's very experienced, far too tense, far too eager to score the runs. That's why not able to place the ball.
That's good running. Tendulkar has set the scene out there and said, let's go for everything. 159 for 4. 34 overs gone. It's a 46 over innings now because of the overs deducted for the Sandstorm when the players were off the field. Players Buckner and Robinson were well on top of the game. They had everything worked out. We'll keep you up to date with the two things needed. One, what India require to win the game, and what they require to make the final. Could lose this match, but if their run rate is good enough, they could get into the final.
Bowling, Shane!
Not like this. I think they'll need to try and score of just about every delivery. Lakshman sent in ahead of Rishikesh Kanitkar, who's played a few more one-day internationals and has batted well. Also, Rishikesh Kanitkar would have been a left-hander. Having been a left-hander, would have been just the kind of problem that bowlers hate in limited overs cricket, a left and right-hand combination. This is played well. Tendulkar looking to make room to play over the top, and when Warne bowled it flat, just guiding it to backward point. That is well bowled by Shane Warne. He knows that Tendulkar looking for the big hit. He's not giving him the room to free his arms, have a free swing. Look at the way he's cramped him for room there. Five runs have come off this over. India need at least one big hit per over now.
Single there, and that'll take it along to 165 for 4. A little bit of impetus coming now. 35 overs gone. India needs 72 runs from 66 balls to qualify.
This is clever batting by Sachin Tendulkar. He's been giving Steve Waugh the charge in the earlier overs, and Steve Waugh has been bowling it short. This time he stayed back and hit it off the back foot, a little close for comfort. His heart must have been in his mouth when the ball didn't quite get the middle of the bat, but still it's cleared Kasparwich, and he's got a boundary, and that's pushed Kasparwich down from inside the circle and mid-on to long on.
68 needed from 65 balls. That's quite feasible for the qualifying for the final. The winning of the match is probably out of India's reach. Their target is 276 from the 46 overs, but I reckon they will be looking solely at qualifying for the final now. The reason they can do that is that if they make 237, that's another 67 from 64. They'll go ahead of New Zealand's net run rate. Each of those two teams on 2 points. The net run rate is the thing that will matter. And it's round about 1 a ball for India to do that.
That's not going to be difficult. They can, in such a scenario, actually afford to play the odd dot ball, so long as they make up for it with some twos and boundaries.
Well, Tendulkar's trying to be a bit too clever there. Steve Waugh has pulled up the third man and put another man out on the boundary at long on, so you've got 3 inside the circle and the offside, and Tendulkar's just tried 2 dinky little shots to get it between the short third man and the man at square point. Neither has come off.
Good work, June. Well, Stephen.
He got out playing such a shot earlier in the tournament. That's not the kind of shot that he normally plays, the dive to third man.
Tries it again and gets the single. 172 for 4 from 36. 65 needed from 60 balls. Quite possible. 6 wickets in hand. 172 for 4 India. 10 overs to go, and Shane Warne is bowling very, very well. And he got a single for that.
Good mates, Shane Warne and Sachin Tendulkar. Just a pleasant exchange of words there.
Down. Keep up. Down. Hold it, Shane. Good,
VVS Lakshman is trying to play the ball to the onside. He's not quite getting it. He's hitting it straight and pretty hard to the fielder at recovers.
In these situations, the batsmen are always aware of the particular situation. Tendulkar, I believe, will have wiped from his mind the thought of winning the game. That's what he wants. He wants to qualify for the final.
Good work, Shane. Good shot coming, grab it.
Good effort from Shane Warne. He's keeping it flat, pushing it through, giving absolutely nothing away.
This is in fact a fascinating tussle. They have a lot of regard, respect for each other, Shane Warne and Sachin Tendulkar. And both are very determined players. Both want to come out on top.
Well, ball, Warnie.
176 for 4, 37 gone. The target figure you see there is the target to win the match for India. But a much more important one, in my mind, is 61 from 54 balls. That will qualify India for the final against Australia. Steve Waterbowl, he's at the pavilion end with the breeze and the sand behind him.
Work, Shane.
The thing for Laxman to do is keep getting the single. Every time a ball's bowled at him, he should get off strike. They need to do anything sensational.
That's right. I think he needs to be there at the other end to give Sachin Tendulkar the confidence that he's got a player who's well in at the other end. Also get the runs so that he also doesn't feel the pressure that he's Yes, Ruchik, plenty of languages in India, plenty of dialects. Sometimes the people in the north do not speak the same language as the people in the south. Two common languages, English and Hindi, which are spoken in the dressing room, but even that sometimes is not enough.
Oh, that's a good one. There was a thick bottom edge, and that is priceless for India. 188 for 4 now from 38. That's what they need, 49 from 48. 6 wickets in hand. The Australians are giving nothing away. That's picked off middle and leg. Very valuable 4.
Yes, Lakshman has modelled this game to a great extent on the Indian captain. Mohammad Azharuddin, both come from the same state, Hyderabad. And he's played that shot in much the same manner that his captain would have played it.
Eight overs to go, and Steve Waugh has timed these bowling changes perfectly. He's got Damien Fleming back on now, and he can bowl 4 of the 8 overs remaining.
Mrs. Patel, and to her left, the man with the beard, Brijesh Patel, the former Indian player, one of the beneficiaries here.
Good shot, won't go to the boundary. Strong chase by Moody. To go. Good throw, good backing up as well. Ponting, the man doing the fielding out there in the covers. Brilliant arm.
Tendulkar taking a chance because he'd hit the ball fairly firmly to Ponting, so Ponting could rush in and have a go at the stump, and if he had hit, it would have been goodbye Tendulkar, and perhaps goodbye to India's chances of qualifying for the finals.
Good cricket from Laxman. Whenever he gets on strike, he should be making certain he gets either bat or pad onto the ball.
Yes, he's doing the right thing, giving Tendulkar most of the strike.
Fielding there with all this noise. But India now should go through.
There he goes again. Watch him go. Whips it away on the onside. No that time. Straight to mid-wicket. Oh, the ball went quiet all of a sudden. They're not used to no runs. This is the six straight down the ground, right off the meat of that bat of his. Watch it fly.
What a player. The best batsman in the world is batting like the best batsman in the world.
And all the Aussie players scattering down that far end when he hit that six, straight into the little area. Through the offside field, running away down towards the fence. It'll be cut off down there.
Well, I think, Tony, the way he's going now, he knows that India will be in the final with a 237 target. I think he's just putting up a challenge to himself if India can achieve that 276. He might just break loose here.
Well, he's leading the kit golf 6-hit competition. He's got 5. So they only need 12 to qualify of 26 balls. That's the first hurdle. Whipped away again on the onside. They'll come back for a second. Home he is.
Just goes to show the stamina of this man. He's been on the field for 3.5 hours. He's past 100 now and he's running for everything. Maybe late evening here in Sharjah, but it's still humid. It's hot out there.
Rest that one through the offside field, and he'll settle for one again. 15 off the over, 228 for 4. Tendulkar, 129 of 126 balls, and he's got this team to within 9 runs of qualifying, and they've got 24 balls to do it in. It'll need a minor miracle now to prevent them from going through, and they need 48 from 24 balls to win the game. That's not out of the question either. Oh, he's high! He's high! It's all the way! It's way over the top, into the crowds again. Sachin Tendulkar wants to win this match.
Well, he's a champion and he needs a challenge. Well, you can't have a bigger challenge than that. He's gone berserk here in Sharjah. That is his 6th six of this innings. The slower delivery, he's picked it up and hammered it out of the ground.
Quick single that time, so he's down the non-striker's end, over the Laxman. Have a look at this shot again. That one went miles up in the air and then came down way over the boundary. It was a slower ball. So he's moved on to 136. 2 runs to qualify, and then they've got to go after winning the match.
Well, the crowd couldn't have asked for more. It's a packed house here. And they've had a ball.
So, what they're going to do, they'll qualify, there'll be a huge cheer, then they'll go after winning it. Steve Waugh, on the other hand, will be very keen to make it 6 in a row for Australia.
Splendidly into the finals.
And the late news here is that Coca-Cola, the Coca-Cola Company, have made a special award to Sachin Tendulkar of £20,000. That's the end of the over, or that's the end of Sachin Tendulkar.
Well, a terrific innings from Tendulkar coming to an end. He was surprised by the umpire's decision. He glanced at the umpire when he was given out, but he had done the job. He had taken his team into the final, and this is how he was dismissed. And you'll know why he glanced at the umpire. That should have been called a no ball. It went over his shoulder.
Well, they haven't stopped going yet. Yes, there's no doubt that that's what he was hanging around for. That's why the Australian players couldn't believe it. No doubt about the fact that he hit the ball and it was caught. But watch this, just above the shoulders there and through to the wicketkeeper. And the catch was taken. He thought he had it. Lee looks to square leg straight away. He can't believe it just for a second there, but then the umpire said he was happy with it. So Coca-Cola have come to the party. Special award to Sachin Tendulkar of £20,000.
Yes, Tony, a rich young man has become a little richer.
To a bowl just outside off stump. Well, things are sort of quieting down now. It's unbelievable. Tendulkar is so big in this place. I'm just trying to think, Ravi. I mean, the Beatles were big, but Tendulkar's every bit as big in this part of the world.
Really, I'll have to look up the thesaurus to find a word that is better than superstar.
That's well fielded. Mark Waugh right at the death. Still pulling off a wonderful stop. It's unlikely now that the Indians can win this match, but they've qualified, and that's what matters.
I tell you what, this match will do their confidence no harm whatsoever. It's a morale booster for them that they've made it to the finals.
Yes, well, what a game it's been. They really have turned this around against all the odds, and what entertainment these people have had. They come flocking in here from work, and Sachin Tendulkar didn't disappoint.
That's the award from the sponsors of this tournament. This is the Coca-Cola Cup.
Right, now let's have a look and see what the rest of the Indians can do. Bear in mind that they need 32 runs off 13 balls, so Australia are still going to win this match, and one has to say it's been a good performance by Australia. This will be their 6th victory in a row. Now, I'm not trying to detract in any way from India's performance. They've got through to the final against the odds, but don't lose on the side of the fact that Australia are going to win the match. And it's been a close one, mind you, and it really does lend itself to a wonderful final. Right up in the block hole. 2 runs off the over. And India 244 for 5. Well, there it is. Look at that. Sachin Tendulkar, 142 from 131 balls. His best, his highest score in one-day internationals. And an innings which has seen to it that India are through to the final and will once again meet Australia. Well, these two sides are having a ding-dong battle now. Australia is having a good run. They've won 6 in a row now. Or if they win this one, they've won 6 in a row. That one wide outside off stump. And I think Tendulkar now really must be favourite to take away the player of the tournament. That's the Opal Astra wrapped up and ready to be delivered. So he's managed to get to 300 with that knock today, and that means that he's top of the table.
Yes, while everything has been said about Tendulkar, one mustn't forget Lakshman's performance here. I think he's shown again that he has a good temperament. He's kept his cool. It was very important that India didn't lose wickets. They needed a partnership. And in spite of starting slowly, the important thing is that he's still there. He was there when India achieved that target of 237.
I don't think he'll forget that partnership for a while. The partnership, in fact, was worth 104, and Laxman scored 20 of them. But he ran very well with Tendulkar. There was just one occasion where Sachin gave him a bit of a rollicking because he thought he should have come through for a single. But really, for a guy who's not that experienced, that's a wonderful experience for him.
Well, anyone would have loved to be in Lakshman's position, stand 22 yards away, and enjoy the entertainment provided by the Master Blaster.
So just 8 balls to go now. A couple in this over and then one more over, and they've got to score 32. I tell you, if Sachin Tendulkar had just stayed out there, that would have been on.
Well, yes, Tony, he's such a competitor that he needs challenges of that sort to really get his motivation going, and he almost pulled it off.
In terms of the knocks you've seen him play in one-day internationals, Ravi, where does that one rate?
I think I'll put it as a best, simply because it was under pressure. He was carrying the weight of the entire country on his shoulders, not only 14 players here, not only the 20,000 that have come. I'm sure the 900 crores in India, people would have been hoping that Tendulkar is there when India reached that target of 237. End of the over, 245 for 5.
Right, well, India need 31 off 6 balls. This will be the last over. Tendulkar out for 142. Get the Sandstorm. We had a Tendulkar storm here. Right up in the block hole. The Australians now just making sure that they win this match. They're on a big incentive, by the way, to win matches. The Australian Cricket Board, as part of the contract that these chaps have, winning matches, whether they be test matches or one-day internationals, is a very worthwhile pastime for the Australians. They have a big incentive to be winners. And 6 in a row they've won, so they must be pretty happy with the way things are going at the moment. They had a bit of a bad time when Steve Waugh first took over, but they're doing well now, and we're in for a great final, that's for sure.
Yes, Tony, and coming back again to Sachin Tendulkar, one felt he was out there on a mission, and he didn't want to leave Sharjah not playing on his birthday. He turns 25 on Friday, so he'll be batting on that day, and he's one of the few players, probably the only player, who has got more international hundreds than his age.
Yes, and Coca-Cola have given him a nice birthday present, £20,000. Right up in the block hole, and that's well bowled, but nothing much you can do about those. So 3 balls to come, and that will be the end of what has been a superb one-day international. Had a little, well, not a little, a big dust storm which drove the players from the field, interrupted Tendulkar's innings. Just glided away on the offside. Panika, the batsman there. So the last over of the match here, and boy, will they be talking about this all over India and here in Sarja in Dubai. Anyone who watched the telecast or was at the ground here today saw a wonderful innings, an innings which Ravi Shastri rates as Sachin Tendulkar's best in one-day cricket. I think you said, Ravi, didn't you?
Absolutely right, because it was under pressure. If he had not got that score, India wouldn't have qualified.
Down to third man. I think everyone sort of run out of voice, actually. There was so much noise in the stadium. Every single shot he played they were out of their seats.
Yes, the fizz has disappeared from the drink. It's gone all flat here. What a cricket match. Crowd can't ask for anything more than this. Over 500 runs scored, almost 600 runs scored today.
Played away on the onside for a single, and that's the end of it. And of course there'll be a lot of people hanging around now to watch the man of the match presentation, because their hero will be coming out. Either that or he'll be carried out. And Alan Border there has kept his focus on the main event, and that is that Australia, his team, the Maddies that he's the coach of at the moment, has won the match. So Australia won the match, and India have got through to the final. So from the point of view of the promoters, it's the best result. India will play in the final. These two teams will have a day off, a nice day's break, and then they'll come back to do battle for the last time for a little while. For the Australians, they're patting each other on the back, congratulating each other, and I think probably saying to each other, don't let's lose sight of the fact that we did win. But it'd be nice to play against someone that, a side that doesn't include Sachin Tendulkar. I suspect that might be what they're saying as well.
Well, I tell you what, Tony, when Australia go back home on Friday, I think each player will go up and shake hands with Tendulkar, simply because of the number of runs he's got against them. He started off with a double 100 in a first-class match for Mumbai against Australia. Two big hundreds in the series, another 100 in the triangular series against Australia, and now another one. I think he's scored close to 1,000 runs against the Australians in the last 3 months in all forms of cricket. But again, a good solid performance by the Australians to win their 6th match on the trot. India replying to that score of 285 by making 250 for 5, which was enough to take them into the final.
Now we have the Man of the Match award. There is an ARY check and the first edition coin set representing the Olympic 2000. To present the ARY Gold Man of the Match award, I'd like to call upon Mr. Muhammad Iqbal, and he'll be presenting it to Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin, congratulations. That was a fantastic exhibition.
Thanks, Ian.
Yeah. You weren't just happy with qualifying, you were looking for the victory.
Yeah, I was striking the ball well, and I thought this was the best opportunity to go for a kill, and unfortunately not to have won the game.
Yeah. I guess you were hoping that that would give you perhaps a bit of a psychological advantage in the final if you could win it.
Absolutely, but what happened in India, I hope it happens here as well.
All right, congratulations, a magnificent knock, great entertainment.
Thank you.
And in addition to that, Coca-Cola presenting Sachin with £20,000, which will be presented in rupees, a special award for his knock today. Now the Kit Cole Awards for the most sixes, to be presented by Mr. Gaurav Goenka, and for Australia it was Mark Waugh. And not surprisingly, for India, Sachin Tendulkar. So there we are, Sachin Tendulkar raking in the rewards for a magnificent innings here in Sharjah.